Last year around this time, I did a World Cup of basketball video where I took basketball players and put them into football positions around the pitch. Today, we're taking NBA and FIFA and putting them together. We're not calling it EAFC, it's called FIFA. Is what it is. So we're going to take 5 different players across the NBA and give my opinion on if they had a FIFA Ultimate Team card, how these cards would look. We use the same type of ratings from pace to dribbling to shooting to defending to passing to physical to determine what these ratings are. But bear in mind, we're only using these ratings. No layup, no basketball IQ, no intangibles. Nothing of the sort, only the ratings that we have in front of us. So let's start with the king, LeBron James. One of the greatest players of all time, top 2 players of all time. Some may have him number 1, some might not. But undisputable, he is a top 2 player of all time. Maybe top 3. I have him top 2. Top 2. So LeBron James Ultimate Team card, right here beside me, I hope, editor LQ. For his pace rating, we have a rating of 86. Going downhill, LeBron James is deadly. Downhill in transition, he's deadly. But he doesn't have the agility that he used to have at a younger age. That's why I couldn't put him closer to 90 and maybe above 90 to where a player like Ja Morant or De'Aaron Fox would have 90 plus rating, because they have that agility still and can take it in transition and go downhill. And for dribbling, I have an 85 rating for LeBron. He has a handle. People say he hasn't got a bag. He has a decent bag. It's just not as good a bag as some of the other players in the NBA, so I can't go above 85 rating. But he has handles. I can't hate on his ball handling ability. You know, in basketball, this is all under playmaking, you know, in 2K. But we're going to try separate it out because there is a dribbling factor. Next, we have shooting. We have 84 rating for shooting for LeBron James. Some may say it's a little bit too high. Some may say it's a little bit too low. LeBron James this season is a 40% 3-point shooter. He might not have the volume of a player like Steph and Curry, but he's shooting 40% from 3. That is something LeBron hasn't done for a few years now. And he isn't a bad shooter. He's not one of the worst volume shooters of all time. He's always been like a steady enough shooter. He might shoot a bit too much sometimes, but he's always been a steady enough shooter. And remember, this counts mid-ranges, and LeBron James is one of the best mid-range shooters of all time. So for what it is, I think that an 84 rating at this point in his career is pretty good. Defending next. People say this is a part of LeBron James' game that gets overlooked. Some people say it's a part that's overrated. I gave him a 76 rating because I think it's more of an effort thing. When LeBron James puts effort in, he's a good defender, but he doesn't really put effort in these days. I feel like what really determines the defense of the Lakers is Anthony Davis. But 76 isn't a slouch. He's not a bad defender by any stretch of imagination. One thing that needs to be acknowledged, in FIFA, you don't really go above 95 too often. It's not like the NBA where they gave out 96 rated players just for playing basketball. It's crazy. And like they've had 99 rated players. We don't really do that because 99 rated player is the undefined greatest player we've ever seen. The greatest player you could imagine would be 95. You know, where a player like Messi across his career, a lot of the time he was 94 because he's the best player we're seeing right now. Doesn't mean he's the best player like that we can ever imagine. That would be 99, the most fathomable, greatest player ever. And so I think 76 is a decent rating for LeBron James in terms of defense. Next, we have passing, one of the greatest passers of all time. Doesn't really do tremendous passes. I think he's still around the 90 rating. I gave him an 89 just because it's not like 2013 LeBron James passing, or 2017 I should say LeBron James passing, but he's still a good passer for all it is. He's still a really good passer. 89 rating is one of the best passers in the league. And finally, with physical, that counts durability, it counts strength, it counts stamina, it counts athletic ability. All those put together, LeBron has to be above 90. He's still durable. He's 39 years of age. It was his birthday yesterday as of recording. And yeah, I have to put him at a 92 rating. He can jump out of the gym. He's strong. 92. He's one of the best physicality ratings in the league that I'd give. And he's one of the most physical players in the league. So that gives an overall rating of LeBron for 92. I think if I was to rate him in terms of NBA scale, counting in the layups, counting in the intelligence, counting in the intangibles, he'd be like a 93, 94, 95. 93, 94 probably. But Can't really do that. So you're going to have to live with that 92 rating, LeBron James, because this is FIFA ratings, not 2K. Next, we have who I think is the best player in the league. Not the MVP, best player in the league. I have Nikola Jokic. Now, Nikola Jokic, some of these stats might be a bit bad for him, but some of these stats would be amazing for him. So obviously, we start with on his card a pace rating, which I have him at 74 pace. He's not a fast man, but he can move. You know, that's as much as I can put it. I'd say 75 would be like decent, and he's just below decent. So I'd give him a 74. He's not like slow, he's just very sluggish in the way he moves. He's not slow though. You know, he's got agility. His post moves show he has agility. But if we had a post moves category, maybe he'd have a bit of a higher category in some of the other ones. Next, we have dribbling, which is a 79 for him. He has moves. He has a bag. Nikola Jokic has a bag. He just doesn't really go into it often. He sticks to his fundamental passing and sticks to his post moves. Doesn't really put the ball in the floor, turn around, hezzy, tween, step back, tween, hezzy. He's not like that. That's not his game. So I had to give him a 79 rating on that because he's got handles. He just doesn't really use them that often. Next, we have a shooting rating, which I gave him an 85. I think he's slightly better shooter than LeBron. Like, he can make those moon shots, those ridiculous shots, and he's a really good mid-range shooter. This season, his 2-point shooting hasn't been the greatest, but that's more of an inside the paint type thing. His mid-ranges have been fine, I guess, and his 3-pointers have taken a little bit of a dip, but we all know that Nikola Jokic can shoot threes. Next, we have defending. One problem with defending is I couldn't go above an 80 rating because he can't really guard the perimeter. Inside the paint, look at his defensive field goal percentage. He's a decent enough defender, but on the perimeter, he on an island, he's pissed. He's screwed. They will score on him. So I couldn't really put him above an 80. So I gave him an 80 rating because he's inside the paint. He's good. Just good. 80 rating is a good rating. It's not like a really good rating or an elite rating, but 80 is just alright. It's just an alright paint defender. Next, we have the two ratings in which Nikola Jokic thrives: passing and physicality. Passing gave him a 95. I think he's the best passer in the league. Tyrese Halliburton maybe comes a little bit close, but Nikola Jokic is one of the best passers ever, and he's in his prime right now. So who am I not to give him a 95 rating for his passing? One of the best passers ever. Genuinely, some of the passes we've seen from him are truly ridiculous. And for physicality, I gave him a 90 because he gets beaten up week in and week out. Absolutely ridiculous. The amount of scratches and clawing and pulling he gets, but he still gets his shot off. He still manages to work in the post. Still manages to push people. Hasn't got the athleticism, so I can't really take him above a 90 rating. But everything else in terms of stamina, in terms of up and downness, durability, in terms of strength, I have to give it to him. It's just the upper level in terms of athleticism. That's what gives LeBron the greater edge on him in terms of physicality. And unlucky for him, there's no layups, man. Tough. Oh, and I forgot to say, Nikola Jokic's overall rating, 93 rated. There you go. Next, we have Stephen Curry, Wardell. For Wardell, a lot of these ratings really, really benefit him. All these ratings seem to go in his favour. First, we start off with pace. I give him an 85 rating pace because he's fast and he keeps moving. He's got agility, he gets inside and out. He doesn't like transition, can't chase him, but he's fast. He's a fast man. 85 rating sounds good for me. Dribbling, I gave him a 90. Some of the best handles we've ever seen in NBA history. Obviously, just past his prime. Still really one of the best players in the league. But in terms of his putting the ball on the floor era, just past his prime. That would have been like 2016-17, where he would just do wondrous things with the ball. But yeah, I give him a 90 rating still. Not quite Kyrie, but a lot better than everybody else in the league. Shooting, 96 rating, is one of the best shooters in the league, shooting 40% again this season, even though the volume that he's shooting it at is ridiculous. Truly the greatest shooter we have ever seen in basketball, ever. Stephen Curry, you're there, bro. You're really, really there. Next, defending, I gave him a 63, which isn't bad by any stretch of imagination. It's not like terrible, but he isn't the greatest defender, especially inside. Perimeter, he holds his own. He's just undersized. Just gotta feel sorry for him. He's just what it is. He holds his own. He used to be like a cone. He used to be a negative on defense. And now he's just alright. So that's what I think 63 would be. It's just alright. Like, okay, you would never count it as a strong suit of Stephen Curry, but 63 is alright. Lastly, for Stephen Curry, we have physicality. I think Steph's a strong boy. Ever since he started getting in the gym, lifting weights, doing more, strength-based stuff. He's been a different type of player. Durability as well. Doesn't really get injured too often. He can hold his own. He's strong. He's got stamina for days and days and days. So I gave him an 81 because he's good, got good physicality. Nowhere near the strongest or most athletic player in the league, but he's strong, and he's like strong for his size, and he's really durable and got a lot of stamina. Well done, Steph. Overall, I think that probably gives him the best rating. These stats really benefit him. He has a high pace, high dribbling, high shooting, pretty decent physical. I gave him a 94. 94. I think he'd be even 95 maybe if you look at those type of stats. Truly one of the greats on this game in FIFA. Next I wanted to have a player that separates it out, the best of the best. And then another player, one of my personal favourite players in the league, just because I'm a Wizards fan. We have Corey Kispert. He's a slasher and a shooter. Not much else to say to him. I'm not going to describe. I'm not going to bore you out. I just wanted to see what an average type player in the league would be when you look at this. So if you look at his pace, he's not the fastest. I gave him a 75. If you look at his dribbling, he doesn't really put the ball that much, but he's all right. He's all right. He puts the ball on the floor. I've seen him do a couple handles, so I give him a 73. Shooting, he's a good shooter. I gave him an 85. He's a better shooter than LeBron is. I'll tell you that. So I have to give him an 85. Like, that's what he gets paid to do, Corey Kispert. So I gave him an 85 shooting. Defending, I gave him a 55 because perimeter is okay, but when he's playing small forward especially, he gets dominated inside. When they take it inside and play in the post, or take it inside and go up for a layup, he's not really contesting or doing much inside. But he's an undersized small forward really, so it's not really his fault. But as it is, bro, I'm sorry. Just got to live with that 55 rating. Passing, he isn't one of the best passers in the league at all. He's below average passer, I'd say. So I'd say 59 rating really is all right for him in terms of passing. And physicality, he does all right stamina-wise, pretty decent. It's just not strong or really, you see a Corey Kispert dunk once every 4 games, but he can dunk the ball. So I gave him a 65 because he's all right. He's just an all right physicality type player. And so overall, I gave him a 74 rating. So that tells you what just a guy in the NBA is putting up compared to, LeBron being a 92, Jokic being a 93, and Steph Curry being a 94. Next, we're going to look at a player who's an All-NBA player, an All-Star, 2-time All-NBA. I don't know if he was All-NBA last year, but at least he's an All-NBA and All-Star player. We have Julius Randle, to see how this can really hurt players, these FIFA ratings. So pace, Julius Randle's not really fast. He can move, but he's not fast, so I gave him a 66 rating. Dribbling, he could put the ball on the floor, but he's not the best handler. He's a good handles. I gave him a 78 rating in terms of dribbling. He's just good, not amazing or anything. Shooting, he can shoot the ball, but he misses a lot. I gave him another 78 rating. Sometimes he takes dumb shots, but sometimes he's good. So I 78 is still a good rating. He's a good shooter. He's not an elite shooter by any stretch of imagination. Defending, 72, because inside he's all right. Perimeter, he gets exposed sometimes. I think it's more of an effort thing with Julius Randle, where sometimes it just doesn't feel like defending. And so I had to give him a 72. He's a worse shooter than he is a defender. He's a worse defender, than he is a shooter. So I have to give him a little bit less. So 72 works out. Passing, he isn't the best passer. There's no intangibles, so it's looking really bad for Julius right now. So passing, gave him a 75. He's just an alright passer, especially for his size. He's alright. It's not he's not a bad passer. He's not an average passer. He's pretty decent for his size, being a 6'9" or 6'10" power forward. And physicality, I gave him an 80 rating because he had left, because he has athleticism, but he gets injured quite a bit sometimes. He's not that durable. I don't know. It's just maybe I give him an 83 rating. I give him an 83 for his physicality because he's a strong boy. It's just his durability and sometimes his effort levels are below average, and I might put that in physicality in terms of wanting to hustle for stuff. Hustling, I'd put in physicality. Julius Randle don't hustle for 9. And so that brings his overall rating maybe a little bit up from what I had it, but it's a 79 rating. Julius Randle would not be a 79 rating if I was doing this in FIFA terms, in NBA terms. He's nowhere near it. He's a lot better than that. He's a player that has a lot of intangibles. He's a player inside game that you really, really need. When he's locked in, inside game, power play, he's, as a secondary star, he can be really, really good for you. But when he's chucking up loads of threes, nah. But that tells you what FIFA does to players. Doesn't give you the full picture, does it, FIFA? Fix up. Or EA FC, I think. Well, anyways, that is my video. Longest video I've done in a while, to be fair. Coming up with all these stats is crazy. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you, man, in a bit. Boom.